Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. It's another hot one here in the UK. I don't know about where you are, but fucking hell. I'm not a fan of extreme heat. I like a gentle breeze, but that's another story. Anyway, I want to talk a bit about a heavyweight who's making a little bit of a splash. His name is Teremoana Teremoana. So good they named him twice. And 6'6", like I say, he's an Aussie. When I say he's 6'6", there ain't any flab on him. I mean, he's built like a right old brick outhouse, if you know what I mean. And a lot of people are saying, this guy could be the future of the heavyweight division. Matchroom are promoting him, so he's got a very good platform on DAZN. And it's early days. He's 27, which is a baby for a heavyweight. We often hear about, whenever us Brits get all excited about Moses Atama, a lot of people say, well, who's he for? And I completely agree. He shouldn't have the high ranking that he does with the ruling bodies. But yeah, he's fought Dempsey McKean, which ain't a bad win, knocked him out in a round. A couple of other guys maybe who are decent journeymen. But Teremoana Teremoana has not faced anyone of note at all. The quality of his opposition is absolutely appalling. And he's got 8 wins, and six are in the first round and the other 2 are in the second round. And on the undercard of the Richardson Hitchens George Kambosos fight, he fought a guy called Aleem Whitfield, who came in undefeated, 9 wins, no draws, no defeats, 6 KOs. Now, the 35-year-old Whitfield, an American, began his career back in, of all times, 2009, so we're going way back, as a 168-pound fighter. So he was a super middleweight. And then he had all sorts of time off. I don't know why. He didn't fight between 2015 and 2024. And he returned as a cruiserweight. And now he's up at 246 pounds, I think, 245 pounds. Roughly that. Anyway, look, he looks it as well. He looks like a little barrel. I don't know what the fuck he's doing at that weight. It's ridiculous. And then he goes in there with Teremoana Teremoana, and the Australian knocks him cold, and I mean cold, in his own, was it his corner? But it was in one of the corners. He knocked him out. The bloke was just, completely asleep. His leg was bent back. He was leaning on it. They got him in. They got him into a recovery position, I think, and then gave him oxygen. He was okay afterwards, but the size difference was insane. Even if you allow for this guy to have grown into being, a light heavy, even a cruiserweight, but to put him in there with this giant guy, it was kind of ridiculous. Teremoana is sort of 265 guy. Like I say, not an ounce of fat on him, 6'6". So how good is he? Well, it's just impossible to tell right now. You cannot tell because, like I say, the quality of the opposition is ludicrous. And I'm not having a go at the guy because when you start out your career, you're fed a lot of puddings, aren't you? And people to just sort of, to get you used to fighting under the lights and the big event and so on. It's all about experience. Under the lights and on the big stage, and so that it's just second nature to you. Now, he didn't fight in 2023, but he has fought, I think he fought once in 24, and now he's fought 3 times in 2025. All one-round knockouts and all against absolute no-hopers. He's had most of his fights, I think, are in Australia. This was his first time in America, so he did a bit of travelling. And he fought in Monte Carlo last year. That was his one fight in Monte Carlo. Again, another one-rounder. So, okay, he's done a bit of travelling, which is good, because if you're going to be a world title contender, you need to do some roads, some motoring, some travelling, some... the phrases in the clues in the title, world champion. It's good to go abroad, and have the experience. But they really need to step him up now because he did turn pro in 2020. I don't know why he was out for 2023. It may have been an injury. I don't know. But the guy's got some ability, even though he's fighting no one. He's quite an upright fighter. He obviously hits very, very hard. He jabs well. His feet aren't as... his feet aren't as slow as you might think for a guy that... we're not talking peak Tyson Fury bouncing around the ring like a middleweight, but he looks all right, and he's doing things he's got a very conventional textbook way of fighting. He likes to throw a lot of punches for a man of that size. Yeah, I mean, I think, a good test would be a sort of, let me think in British terms, because those are the terms I know best. Probably, put him in with a Solomon Dakers, or he'd probably do Solomon Dakers in a round, actually, come to think of it. Maybe a David Adelaide. I mean, Dave Allen is everybody's favourite barometer for young heavyweights. Yeah, Dave Allen, that would be a good fight. I think Moana hasn't done any rounds, so you don't know about his gas tank. But clearly he's dedicated because he's in such great shape. So you've got, whoever you want to pick, you've got to bring him up a few stages now. Okay, he's 27, young for a heavyweight, but we don't want him stagnating. We don't want him treading water. I said about Justice Hooney before he fought Fabio Wardley, I said Wardley will get him done in between 3 and 6 or whatever it was, 5 rounds. I picked mid rounds, or 5 or less, I think was what I said. And of course, Hooney was a revelation. And even though he got knocked out with that one punch, his performance was fantastic. So his stock sort of rose. All right, you got nailed with a punch. That's infuriating. Must have really annoyed him. But Hooney will come back. He can take. All right, he got clipped, but he can take from that performance against Fabio Wardley an awful lot of positives. And don't forget, he was away from home. He went all the way to Fabio's backyard and almost pulled off the upset. So a defeat or risking a defeat doesn't matter to me. It never has done in any division, not just heavyweights, but in any division. And I think Teremoana, stick him in with a Dave Allen, stick him in with a David Adelaide level. Let him jump up. If you can build up a big, if he does start to beat half decent fighters, B minus, B, even B plus fighters, and a Talma at only 20 continues on his path, then maybe we could have a big sort of, UK Aussie heavyweight smash up. And don't forget, it's not those belts. Even though we've got Usyk and Dubois in their rematch for all the marbles, those belts are going to be freed up at some point. So now is the time to prepare yourself, to put yourself in a position, not just with the rankings, not just with the ruling bodies, because we all know the rankings are often a load of bollocks. You want to get yourself into a position where you're happy traveling, it's all sorts of countries. You've beaten good men, decent men. You've done the rounds, because both the Talma and Teremoana need rounds. And you're confident that when you go in to a world title 12-rounder, you're going to win it. And you're not thinking, I'm going to knock this person out early. You're thinking, if I have to do the whole 12 rounds, no problem. No problem. I mean, it's a different weight division, but if you look at someone like Richardson Hitchens, who knocked out George Kambosos as the main event, Hitchens had a few fights where he went 12 rounds. I think he had 3 in a row where he did 12 rounds. And people were saying, well, he lacks a bit of power, he should be getting rid of these guys. And I was the same. I was saying the same thing. But no, he did the 12 rounds a few times. Now he knows he can do 12 rounds easy. When he hurt George with that body punch in the 3rd or 4th, I think it was the 3rd, wasn't it? He didn't go crazy. I've got to get rid of him. He's like, no problem. I got another, 9 rounds to do my work. There is no substitute for life experience, for ring experience. So I would say, in the case of Teremoana, get him the work. Get him moving around. He's on DAZN. Get him back in America. Why don't we have him over here in England? Obviously he wants to continue fighting Australia because that's his home, and if his fans want to see him. But maybe Mexico. Move him around. Get him good guys, tough guys who are going to take him. This was a 6-rounder. This Aleem Whitfield thing was a 6-rounder. Maybe up him to 8. It's difficult to pick opponents when you've got a guy who's like this, but it's just a nice dilemma to have, because you're thinking these guys are good. Who are we going to put them in with? Would I put him in with someone like Jermaine Franklin at the moment? Probably not. I think Atama is slightly ahead of Teremoana in the trajectory stakes, slightly ahead, but there ain't a great deal in it. I think Atama, because he's been in with, Dempsey McKean, and he's beaten Marius Vac. And yes, he's beaten them quickly, but that psychological experience of beating good names, even though Vac was ancient, and McKean had taken Filip Ergovic nearly 12 rounds. Atama got rid of him in one round. Teremoana needs that sort of opponent where he makes a statement for himself, not for other people, so that psychologically he thinks, yeah, I know I could do it, and look, I've just proved it. So I'm looking forward to seeing this guy, this Teremoana fella. I want to see where he goes. I think he's a good addition to the heavyweight division, despite being completely untested. But will he be I mean, you tell me, do you think maybe you know more about him? Maybe I haven't seen all of his fights. I've seen 4 maybe. But you tell me if you know more about him. And why did he take 2023 off? Was he injured? It was a weird one. Maybe he had some promotional issues. I don't know. Anyway, comments below as usual, please, ladies and gentlemen. And if you like this video, hit the like button, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we want to build the channel up. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of this very hot day. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.